good evening. Welcome to the Cars, Bars, and Guitars podcast, episode
106. Not 0.5 the end.
Not anymore. He's Steve.
And he's AJ.
Steve, who are we brought to you today by?
Are you a Porsche Macan or a Porsche Macant?
I like that. Did you come up with that?
Nope.
Who was it?
That is courtesy of finding TST's picture that's not much of a tease, but interesting. I can't talk. Already saying, yep, this is the Macan T. Well, the jokes start here.
That's my favorite kind of salsa, is Macante sauce.
Ooh.
All right, well, Steve, what are we going to be drinking, at least first?
All right, so we have us a Barrel Select George Dickel and a Sierra Nevada Powder Day IPA left over from the last time.
Yeah, this is pretty mellow. It's 43%, so 86 proof. Charcoal mellowed because it's Tennessee whiskey and small batch, and each year we carefully sample the whiskey stock aging in white oak barrels, and they take a certain amount of barrels and they make a private barrel out of it. So that's.
I should really get back into doing fancy drawings. Then I too could be charcoal mellowed.
I'm your private barrel for drinking. Do what you want me to do. Did you see the Tina Turner? It was the Tina Mutant Ninja Turners. Good Lord, that's aggressive.
What in the huh?
It was a picture. It was the Tina Mutant Ninja Turners, and it was Tina Turner's face on all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
No, but I'm proud to see my birthday buddies going places.
That's right, because you have her and I have Mike Krzyzewski. That's an aggressive fucking pour.
Retire in peace.
So I'm not going to drink any more of that today, probably. Steve Grant. Oh, hold on. Yeah, we got to do this shit first.
It's this thing. That's why I didn't open it yet.
We got it at the same time, too. So, hey nice. Ka-tink.
Ka-tink.
That's totally a decent IPA.
Thanks, Costco.
Double dry hopped. Now, what is the difference? This is going to sound very, very noobish of me, but the difference between dry hop and wet hopped?
A lot of beers are dry hopped because that's when your hops have been dried and likely powderized to make the beer.
Okay.
Wet hopped is using the hops fresh, which makes your shipping weight about 12 times as much. So you don't see a lot of wet hopped beers because the shipping costs of material will kill you.
That's fair.
One of my favorite wet hop beers is the Terrapin So Fresh and So Green.
Don't think
I've had
that
at the brewery, and that was 10 years ago, but got way too excited when I saw that one.
You used to go every year, right?
Yeah, that was a good run, like roughly 8 to 18.
I'm trying to share the video, and I just saw something come up that says Kid Rock makes music for dudes who take photos with the Hooters waitresses. I think one of my favorite ones was genres like that. It's called divorced dad rock.
Mine was he makes music for people who know exactly how much methamphetamine you're allowed to get at one time, or pseudoephedrine. Like
yes, those are my favorite. Like makes the music for Cardi B makes music for girls who wipe back to front. So let's try the Daryl. The George Bickle Daryl pick. Thanks, Daryl. You're a pal.
And his other brother, Daryl.
Larry. That's right nice, Esteban. I feel the warming sensation.
The cackling.
Yeah, that.
It's a small rooster.
He ain't gonna die. What shenanigans have you gotten into? So we haven't done this in a couple of weeks because of plate party, and then you were out of town.
Yep.
So any new beer adventures or anything you did while you were out of town?
Not really. This drank a lot at the beach, and the water was entirely too cold to get more than ankle deep, but still made it as far as knee deep in it last weekend. To have very unusual St. Patrick's Day, so Kayla and I split a rotisserie chicken at the beach house. And then my brother and sister and their respective married twos joined us Friday for the rest of the weekend.
Cool. And you said it's Holden, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Too bad. I wonder if Mackay's even still there.
I don't know.
I think they got pretty beat up when the hurricanes.
That's plausible. So remember we went there back in 2018. That was when we got engaged, and that was right after the big hurricane that did a number on Holden then. So the first of world problems that the hot tub was not working at all during that trip. And we got routed through almost Columbia trying to get there.
I've been to I've been to Myrtle Beach through Columbia, and it doesn't take as long as you. I mean, mileage wise, it looks bad, but it's pretty much all interstate.
It's 77 to 20 to whatever 20 morphs into to kick you right into Myrtle. I did that once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and if you go back roads, it's still 218, which sucks, to 74 to 701, and then zigzag a bit.
Yeah,
but since I've been down that way too.
I do from here. I'll take 74, 52, 9, 38, 501, 17.
I'm going to play those numbers later.
If you do, you win a lottery you don't want to win.
Yeah, but I think Holden was something like 218, 74, 200, 130.
Yeah. No, nothing new for me. All fair, I was telling you, haven't put a 40-hour work week in at my new place yet. I've been there 2 months already. It doesn't really feel like it's been that long. But you've been at Carvana for fucking 2 years.
2 years, and on beginning of next week marks 6 months in the new role.
Jeez, man. This whole time going by fast shit can kiss my ass.
It gets weirder. I'm getting a second shifter.
No way. Fuck yes. So you'll even have a little bit less of a workload. Have they filled your old job yet? With somebody competent?
The guy in photo that comes and goes. There have been some good ones, some bad ones, but that's been the case in that department and, everywhere.
Well, that's true, too.
Including something to be spoken of off air.
Oh, boy. Can't wait. By the way, is it dinner night?
We can.
Sweet. I ate too many chips and salsa while I was feeding the kitties. So there's that. So funny story. You know how I was feeding the kitties the other day, and do you know how when you have a spoon and you instinctively lick whatever's off of it?
Oh, no.
I got my tongue dangerously close to it before I stopped what I was doing.
Like, that's not your usual chicken salad.
Now, I have heard that it kind of just tastes like potted meat because that's exactly what it is. But the thought of it,
yeah,
I was like, ew.
Yeah, something about that presentation just seemed really unappealing.
Yeah, but then you look at like chicken salad and you're like, well, but I know what that is.
That's also something I've never been keen on. Like
I do like it.
Any of the meat salads are pretty off-putting.
Now, have you had chicken salad with Caesar dressing instead of mayo?
Go on.
We made that one night. We put boneless chicken breast in crock pot. Put a bottle of Caesar dressing and shitload of Parmesan cheese.
I'm gonna make one with bone-in chicken breast. I have chicken ribs.
Chicken ribs. The McChicken rib. So it makes Caesar sliders is what they're called, and you put them on like Hawaiian, and just have little. See, it tastes like little Caesar salads, and it's fucking delicious. And we've only made it once.
One go to. So what's stopping you?
I keep forgetting about it until
now. Like, do you have any chicken Caesar wings? A what?
Speaking of shit you forget about, I heard a song I probably have not realistically heard in 15 or 16 years. And then I went, oh my God, I used to love that song. And then I kept listening to it. I was like, I still love this song. And I let Emily hear it. She had no idea what I was talking about. And I let Brian Layton hear it. He had no idea what it was. He said it kind of sounds familiar, but not enough to go. Do you remember a song called Spaceship by Angie Aparo?
Yes.
I love that fucking song so much that
spaceship landed at your doorstep.
That I've learned how to play it.
Wow.
Yeah. When you're gonna grow up, That's such a cool song. I liked it better than Cry. Cry was a little too country for me, but that one was fucking cool.
And considering what it got morphed into, yes.
So I was like, that song's cool as fuck.
Isn't Angie a girl's name?
Maybe it's, I don't know. But no, this was a song, and I was like, man, I haven't heard that shit in fucking 15 or 16. And I couldn't every now and then would get stuck in my head, I'll go, when you gonna, and I had no idea who sang it. And it just kind of.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that, Steve.
It's like that's the rest of how it sounded. Like, also, that was a weird one. It's like that was one that took me a while to get the hang of.
I still love it. What else happened at work? There was something. Oh, not at work. At a gig the other day at
other work.
Buzz Viking. Yeah, work. Out there sits 2 nights in a row. 2 nights in a row. A red Maserati TC.
The LeBaron Maserati.
Yeah. 2 nights in a row, because we played at Buzz, remember, 2 nights in a row last week. 2 weekends ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
And it was there the first night. I was like, cool, somebody fucking drove it. And I took a picture of it. And we played there the next night. I was like, that fucking thing's here again. I wonder if somebody that works here drives that thing. It's in great shape, too, which is weird thing to keep in good shape. But
hey, man, you got yourself a Trident. Now, what are the odds he's got a McLaren Grand Prix at home, too?
That would be awesome.
Some very unusual cross-badged cars.
Didn't they have a Grand Prix that was a NASCAR edition at some point, too, back in the...
courtesy of Richard Petty? You bet your ass.
Okay. You know what would be cool is to have... They should have had McLaren build the NASCAR edition just to fuck with people. The McPetty. That sounds terrible. That sounds horrible.
That's what happens when you're able to pick your chickens. They grind into nuggets. It's their McPetty Zoo.
It's your McPetty Zoo. That sounds like a very fancy waiter's name who's English. Ready to do the news? That's really fucking good. Anywho, Stellantis is to release a 3-liter twin-turbo inline 6, pushing 400 horsepower to the top-of-the-line trim at 500 horsepower, and is rumored to replace the Hemi V8.
Did BMW put that up to this?
It's built by Stellantis, so Americans can build engines. Although I'm worried they're going to let Fiat do it. Hey, here's 2 turbos, an inline 6.
Think of it as the modern-day interpretation of the Slant 6, just with a lot more power.
And it's rumored to be replacing the Hemi V8.
I would call it the Slantis 6. Just kill a few syllables in the process. We don't care.
Built in Asia. Nope, we can't really call it that anymore, can we?
It's the engine. Let's say Slantis. Gosh,
I can't believe. I can't imagine it replacing the Hemi V8, but V8s are going away, so that would be a good engine in the Wrangler. Actually,
yeah,
that wouldn't be a bad one. It would fit, even though an inline. But a 3-liter inline 6 is pretty small. Like the 4-liter, I think the valve cover gasket was like that big. It was a big engine, so I mean, you could probably do a 3-liter.
It would be realistically 75% the size.
Yeah. Did you ever watch the video on the VR6 that Camisa did? I didn't realize it had one
it was
cylinder.
Yeah, so it was 15 degrees, so they were staggered. Not a lot of staggered engines at that capacity.
And that's why it has that sound to it. Just is great. That's one probably. Is that, do you think, the best sounding V6 that's ever been
certainly
produced?
Up there.
I'd say that. The new Maserati sounds good too as V6.
It's a distinct thing that it's got that almost like BMW straight 6 growl
mixed in,
but a little V60 in there too. Like, it is its own unique thing. We never got it here, but there's also a VR5.
That would sound really cool.
Similar configuration, only then you are missing a cylinder.
The VR6 sounded to me like
they only saw the straight 5 here with the Golf later.
V5.
W5.
Or V4 and then one cylinder in the middle.
Yikes.
You had to be just...
I'd be driving away, my car feels on the Highlander wheels.
Yeah.
It's like, I still need to get that taken care of.
The VFR Honda bike is a V4. It's a V configuration 4, and it sounds really, really cool.
Nice. I know Saab had a V4 a long time ago, but I'm unaware of any other automotive applications that actually had a V4, except for people that know, yeah, car's got a V4. No, you don't.
Nah, man.
It's either a straight or a flat. It is not a V.
No.
Was there a VR4? A VR3.
A Boxer 3. So it would sound like a...
I want to see the VR8 instead of the W8.
So yeah, there is a difference between the flat and the Boxer. So your engine in the Boxer does do that, but then a flat engine, the pistons don't do this. They are... Yeah, whatever.
I need to have engineering explain to me this.
Yeah, that, that would be... I guess, that would be a good... I mean, putting 400 horsepower in a Wrangler anyway, but 392 has a lot. Mm. The new 392 Wrangler does 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. That's so stupid.
It's a fast brick.
Yeah, but it comes with this huge tire. Like, that's got to be terrifying. Like, this is like trying to ride a bull that's made of Jell-O. Bull made of Jell-O. Mercedes is to release a special edition G-Wagon in honor of its 55-year anniversary.
Huh?
Uh-huh. The G-Wagon has been around for 55 years.
That must have been its, obviously, post-WW2 production, but I thought the only civilian models were in the late 70s.
There you go, though.
That would be 45-ish. 55 would mean it came out in the late 60s.
I'm just copied and pasted what I saw on Car and Driver.
All right. Hey, I've called him out on a typo before, and I'll call him out on another one.
Did I tell you about the typo story from Mr. Letowski? There was a commercial for, I think it was for WRAL, but it was for a news station in the greater Raleigh area, and their slogan was, "We break news faster than everyone." And he wrote in and said, you need to add else at the end of it because you're including yourself in the everyone. So it needs to be, we have faster news than everyone else. And by goodness, a couple months later, the slogan was changed to everyone else. Like, you son of a bitch.
I would not to have thought to be that Richard Petty about that right now, and I know I can be. Back in the day, I told you about the red 92 Volvo that I had briefly.
Yes.
Upon its replacement having been acquired, much to everyone's chagrin, the classified ad popped up for that car, listed for a 0 too many. For sale, cherry red 1992 Volvo 240 sedan automatic, $72,000. This would have been in May of 2000.
Jesus Christ!
And nowadays, some yabos probably attempting to ask said 5-figure sum for that very plain Jane automobile.
By the way, we do need to bring back Yabo as an insult because it's so fun. It's so fun to hear.
I don't know how and why that just kind of stuck.
That one's good. I always like the Top Gear insults. When you're a bit of a steak and kidney lock opener. a pikey. A pikey. So he called him a steak and kidney lock opener.
That's, I'm going to put one arm over here and one arm over here and call that a stretch.
I'm just repeating what James Mace told me. Ugh. Oh, boy.
I like pillock.
Pillock's good. Bollocks is good. Sawed it. I need to sod my fucking grass. What's left of it.
Getting another nasty letter for that one, too?
Not yet, but I'm sure it's coming.
Oh, I need to mow.
Well, you don't have a...
No, there's no HOA. Just, no, I'm afraid I'm going to lose one of the stray cats in it.
True. How's the house hunt?
It's been on hold since we were out of town last week.
Gotcha.
A few interesting things pop up, but expanding into the option of conjoined housing. I mean, townhomes. Unfortunately, your neighbor's place at $370 is well out of budget.
Yeah. When you said conjoined housing, my head went a different way.
We're moving to Thailand.
Dis automobiles.
Excuse me?
DEUS. And that's the correct spelling.
Are they going to attempt to buy the rest of the word Duesenberg?
I hope not.
Dues and Enberg are teaming up to bring you giant Luxo barges in the style of the 1930s.
I'm okay with that.
Make depression great again.
An automotive startup based in Austria, home to famous failed painters, is to release a new hypercar called the Vian, Vayane, in honor of their capital of Vienna. Guess they didn't want to name it after a sausage. With specs not released yet, the car will have design input from Ital Design. I don't know what it looks like.
It's a country away, so it's not so far-fetched.
Yep, I don't quite know what it looks like yet. There's no specs. There was like one of those teaser shots.
It's going to look like a Gur Corolla. Just you wait.
That would be great if it was just that. What?
Meanwhile, there was the non-commercial commercial for it the other day. Like, the focus group. Blah, 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 blah. Well, here's the Toyota Subaru and the Toyota BMW. And then it's like, you get the glimpse of the taillights in the back. Mm-hmm. From that shot, it already looks like a 2019 Corolla hatchback, bud.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Brian makes a good point. Like, all the new cars that are coming, they're making them look. Can we just make them look like cars? Why do we have to make the EVs and shit look really weird and futuristic? Like, we're not going forward in time.
No, we're actually going back in time because we all love Demolition Man.
And
we all love Back to the Future 2. So we've got some really outlandish stuff from 30-plus years ago to go on.
So you're saying they should make a RAV4 that's like a Hellcat and call it the Outlandish?
That's going to be Mitsubishi's last gasp in teaming out with Toyota.
The Highlandish.
I'm just waiting.
Highlandish would be a Cheech and Chong commemorative edition.
If I were to have a RAV6, would it be a dually or just a 6x6?
No, dually the front wheels. How do you like your turning radius?
That sounds very elvish of you. Remember those race cars?
Yeah, man. He died on the toilet. Oh, elvish. You're welcome.
Screw you, 1984 Renault.
Well, if you Renault, you Renault. Uber is Uber is listing all New York City taxis on its app starting this summer. Contractually, they will also, if they pick up Uber driver, still get paid. So that's pretty cool.
Does that mean Uber drivers don't have to buy the $1 million medallion? Because that's been a really sore subject for New York cabbies, that to operate as a cab in the city, you need to have this very expensive thing. So you're basically trying to pay off your own fucking job.
I did not know about this, actually.
That has been a nasty battle that I know little about. Given I've never been to New York City nor state.
Actually,
sorry, wife.
Yep, I haven't either. Emily's been twice to New York City, but she's never been to Central Park. So that's what she always keeps telling me. I'd like to go just to go to Central Park.
I want to go there and do my own Die Hard 3 replica. Where they have
Which part?
The crazy chase through the park.
That, yes. The holding the sign up in the middle of Harlem. We can skip that one. It's not growing on me like I was hoping. It's not bad. It's just it's very dry.
This is one of the drier ones I've had. Like this is more palatable than the old school New Belgian Ranger. That was my go-to, like kick in the teeth IPA. Like this is better than that, but that was a low bar. That was kind of based on a dare to keep drinking that one. It's like, oh darn, it's off the market, and the Voodoo Ranger of any sort is superior.
Mm-hmm. By the way, we're doing away with make your own 6-pack at our store. So I've reduced to $6 a bunch of mix and match shit. Some of it's garbage like Smirnoff Grape.
I'm pretty sure Smirnoff Ice was one of my originating factors for acid reflux.
Probably. You probably still have some in you, actually.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
That battery acid's not giving me a lot of charge.
No, man. The other...
So they're saying I need to drop by there on the way out?
Well, one of the 6-packs is just Guinness Draft Stout, and it's $6.20. And then there's Cold Snap. That's $6. Like I just put
normally that'd have been $10 for the longest, but are more stores doing away with that?
Yes, I just don't know which ones.
Okay,
it was a poor performing.
It was a neat idea, and at typically $10 for a 6-pack, that was a decent deal, especially when you could find 1/6 of this is going to be less than the unit cost of buying this 6-pack for $12. You can get 6 of the same things cheaper.
The problem is, too, we have the store I'm at now has self-checkouts, so there would be nothing stopping anybody from going straight and getting 6 tall boy cans, putting them in a make-your-own 6-pack, and going through the register, and the cashier not knowing what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, it's just, you've got one of the cartons, so be it.
So, shrink will be a lot better. Will I see any benefit for that? Very, very doubtful.
You're also not the ones having to break out all the packaging to have these 30 beer or beer adjacent items.
Right.
So it's one fewer shelf for somebody to have to keep that stocked. I can only imagine the logistics of that were unpleasant.
Mm-hmm.
Much like unless I'm really hankering to try a sample of something, it's like I don't need a flight usually.
We
it's like
do
I just
that.
Yeah.
Yep. Or we go to Salsa on Monday.
Yeah. It's just like this is a lot of shit to load in a dishwasher.
Well, also, make your own 6-pack was a really good idea.
Pesky empathy thing's really getting in the way of my beer sampling, as if I needed any help with that.
I used to do the make your own 6-pack a lot when I was 21, but that was also right around the turn of high craft beer being a thing.
Yep.
So it made a lot of sense. Now there's just so much shit now, and you know what? It's fairly reasonably priced. You can still, a 4-pack of honey pie or like hop cakes is like $16.
Yeah.
But that's fucking 8 beers. So that's more forgivable.
Yeah, the size and a half and double strength.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, so that's forgivable. Honda is to release images of the 2023 HRV in April. It said it's going to differ in design from the Euro spec model, which is cool because that was a contingency with...
Contentious?
There we go, whatever. I took math, man. When we bought Emmy's car, I said, well, here's what it's probably going to look like if we wait another year. And she looked at that one, and she looked at the one she has now. She goes, I like this one better. I'm like, I do too. That one has the bigger engine, but you don't need that. And you don't care. And this one's smaller. Have you seen what the 2023 HRV looks like?
The Euro spec one, yes.
I don't like
they
it.
kind of tacked the new Civic beak on it. Just kind of
To me, it looks like you kind of you tried to give a CRV the proportions of an HRV, and I don't know. I just don't really like the way it looks. I guarantee it. It just looks kind of bulbous. You know what? Like it doesn't have any sporty style to it. It looks more like the utilitarian box. Did you see it? It has no style. It's just is.
Yeah.
At least Emmy's HRV looks pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always liked the way those looked, and that was a silver medal car a year ago when I suddenly needed to go car shopping. Like, oh, hi, tomorrow marks a year since the crash.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
You thinking about staying at home all day? Or are you superstitious?
It was the 26th, not the 13th, so no.
I was born on the 13th, though. So.
Don't have... What, Friday?
Unfortunately, no. It was a Thursday. Valentine's Day was on Friday the 14th that year.
That's not how this works.
Happy Friday. Did you have Freshman Day in high school? Every Friday the 13th was supposed to be called something called Freshman Day. And used to torment freshmen.
My high school had its asshole tendencies, but that was not one of them.
That was
the magic
thing.
That was the magic of Page High School being right between the Ritz and the Hood. which meant going to high school was 15 minutes out in the burbs. It was just fuck nothing.
Ritz and Hood just makes me think of crackers and eggnog. Why don't they make eggnog? You don't like eggnog, do you?
I'm indifferent.
Okay.
It's not a go-to drink, but I'll happily experiment.
I have to have it mixed with something because, like, just drinking straight eggnog is like just drinking heavy whipping cream.
Or put in your coffee.
You know what I just discovered was good in coffee because I ran out of coffee creamer? Brown sugar.
How come it tastes so good?
I mean, I put a splash of milk and a little brown sugar. Better than my last experiment, which was pancake syrup. Did not mix very well.
That makes my teeth feel like they're going to fall out of my head.
I didn't put a lot. Like, I just dollop. But it just doesn't mix that well into coffee. So it was like straight black coffee. It was like drinking a snakebite beer, where it was all Guinness at the top and at the bottom was all sweet. Yeah. I felt like an episode of fucking Super Troopers at the very bottom. Oh, jeez. Yep.
How much of your power is derived from your lips?
Well, let me channel my inner Steven Tyler.
Funny. The Weakest Link is back. And,
with what's her name?
Ellen. Not Ellen. Jane Lynch,
yeah.
Who's vicious. I can only imagine if Jeopardy was running this way, it would be so much more fun.
Yeah, they had that called Win Ben Stein's Money. And now Ben Stein's a fascist. Or maybe he just always was a fascist. That's where Jimmy Kimmel got his start. Do you remember him?
Yep.
He was always funny on there.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I may not like the way the third gen Honda Harvey's going, at least it won't look like the first gen.
Remind me what that looks like again?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I ate earlier.
It looks like if you microwaved a Skyline R32.
You know what that looks like? It looks like you jacked up a Plymouth Colt and put RSX headlights on it. That's really
unfortunate.
Yeah, man.
That's a two-door. Oh, good. You have less utility in your sport ute.
Yeah, man. Like, even the 4-door Jeeps looked weird when they had 4 doors because we weren't used to it. Now it looks weird to see a 2-door one.
And I think it's 90% of sales now.
Yeah. If you're going to build a rock crawler though, 2-door it all the fucking way. It's the better rock crawler, shorter wheelbase, the wider stance with the body proportions. If you're going to do that, but like if you're going to use it as an actual vehicle, the gas mileage, there's no gas mileage gain, like basically. So
yeah.
Lego is releasing a new, bigger and better Back to the Future DeLorean set with 3 different configurations.
What? One more time.
Lego is releasing a new, bigger, and better Back to the Future DeLorean set.
Ooh, sweet, because I've got one of those and lost all the pieces somewhere since Old House.
Somebody's feet are very mad at you. I think they're supposed to be.
I think some plastic container somewhere is very upset. So
like
it's
3 different.
I can't hear it scream. Yeah, so you're gonna have.
It's Steve's old house. You can't hear your feet scream.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm a man who loves his Legos. Like, I thought I had some Legos over here. I got the Oh, no, they're in the master bed. So they're used in the cereal boxes when I was like 5 or 6 years old. We finished that. You send off enough box tops, or no, proofs of purchase, the barcode.
Same diff. Yeah.
So you send enough of those off, you get like a little car. So I had a car, a plane, a helicopter, I think a boat, a little Lego thing, and I put them together. They're in the other room, and I've never seen them anywhere else, and they're definitely Lego, and I'll never get rid of those fucking things. Oh, childhood. How I missed thee. Would you go back to being a kid and live your life again?
Sure.
I don't know if I would.
It was a mad decent bunch of irresponsibility the first dozen years.
I guess what I was trying to say was things might turn out differently. So you might not have ever met Kay. Like, I might have never met Emily. So I don't know if I actually would go back and change anything.
I mean, it's like,
if I'd go back and read...
You could say yes. You could say no. Know what's going to happen? Nothing. Dream a little. Oh, darn. It's like, yeah, you could, make your own Groundhog Day for all you care. Imagine all the what ifs. It'll be your next novel. Choose your own AJ adventure.
Man, I accidentally chose the right path that I'm on right now.
It's like that. That said, like since the crash, like I realize I've had a pretty decent last 12 months.
Yeah, man, you got married, you got promoted. I'd say you did pretty good, buddy. Slancha, late.
Yeah. What'd you do for St. Patrick's Day? Hit the road.
Good.
Didn't have a Guinness.
I didn't have a gig.
Didn't do anything for St. Patrick's Day.
Fuck no, man.
And then posted on one of the Face pages, like, hey, anything going on? Check the town websites. You could have said no. But I took the high road and said, nope. Plan B, caught a lovely sunset.
Mm-hmm.
Undertone being, fuck you for being on this fucking page, you fucking twat.
Yes. All Volkswagen Group cars lost in the Felicity Ace toy boat. Felicity Ace ship fire will be replaced by the manufacturer. So everybody who had ordered a car is getting their car. Exactly the way it was supposed to be.
Matt Fair's still getting his damn pink Porsche.
Yep. And it's going to have a salvage title because they're just going to dig it out of the... I'm just kidding. They replace it.
Well, I'm sure you heard about the Undersea Explorer that sent him a lengthy email and cost structure to attempt to recover this.
Zach got a kick out of that.
My dog.
That's great. He got a big kick out of that, as did I. Hey, kudos for the guy for trying, though, I guess. I mean, you miss every shot you don't take, I guess.
That too, of no guarantee of anything being recovered to burn that much money for that little bit of time.
And even if you found it.
Yeah.
It's like the dog who barks at the car and runs after it and chases it. Dog, you catch the car. What are you going to do with it now? Nothing?
Does it have plastic bumpers? Because instant chew toys.
I guess all of them do now. Not mine, though, buddy. I'm steel all the way around now. Rails and bumpers. For the ripe old price, I'd rather not talk about it.
Is that your favorite Steel Panther album? Feel the Steel.
Feel the Steel. Eatin' Ain't Cheatin' is the best fucking title I've ever heard. 2023 Aston Martin V12 Vantage.
I don't know. I'm partial to Gangbang at the Old Folks Home.
That
song cracks me up every time.
Yes.
Everyone's pizza.
So 2023 Aston Martin V12 Vantage will have a twin-turboed 5.2-liter V12 with 690 horsepower. No EV for the V12 Vantage quite yet.
Yeah. Adson's... Well, seeing as they're building 12 of them a year, that's hardly the environmental repercussion we're fearing.
Is that one of the prettiest modern, maybe not that one, but that generation that started 06 till 2015, that Vantage is so pretty. I like it better than the Vanquish, but that's just me. I like the line. I think the lines are cleaner and it's more proportionate. I just love that car, especially in the right color.
This 2023 one's rivaling the last of the Toyota Avalons for ridiculous grillage.
Mm-hmm.
It's just this is the Joker grin.
It's
like someone's been using Brand X.
You remember the first or the second gen Eclipse?
Yeah,
with the big smile, and then after that they changed it. Thank goodness.
Yeah, but, or the second gen Mazda 3.
Yeah,
and the subsequent Mazda 5, Mazda 6, Mazda 2. It's like, you messed up, fellas.
Like the TL, the big beak. Like, why did y'all think that was a good idea? Like, my TSX was cool.
Yeah, that was a handsome car.
That was, and the grill, it had the shape, but it didn't stick out any, and it didn't have the extra fucking Superman shield at the top. Like, who the fuck thought that was a good idea? That TL was weird. The TL before it was gorgeous. Especially the Type S with the gunmetal wheels, which would bolt up to the TSX, but they weighed 8 pounds per corner more and were noticeably worse performance.
So my Highlander wheel effect.
Yeah, that. You're going to watch your MPGs go up. I think.
This tank average at 180 miles is currently 35. I'm calling this gravity driving.
Oh,
It's like
how big's a tank?
14.
Okay.
Back last May during that fuel shortage,
Yes.
I discovered a car could do 70 miles with the gas light on.
That's
So I put 12.9 gallons into a 14-gallon tank. I drove it from work to the Costco in Matthews, which has a generous downhill leading to it. Make it there, stop at the top of the hill, cut the engine off, and proceed to cruise down this hill until it flattens out, start the car only enough to move the car, and then proceed to put not quite 13 gallons with one to spare. Like, so by that math, I might have been able to hit 100.
Steve lives dangerously. Ain't no way I do that in mine.
I also have a AAA gold card seeing very little use, so the stakes are quite low.
Ground beef.
Short cows, yes.
And last in car news, the Chevy Trax is discontinued after the 2022 year model.
My Daewoo! Oh no! What's Bruce gonna drive now?
Ew.
Wait, the Trax, not the Trailblazer that replaced it?
Nope, the Trax and the Buick Encore. I think it was the sister car.
I could have sworn the Trax got replaced by the new Trailblazer.
No, they made them at the same time for some fucking stupid reason.
Because the Encore got a decent refresh.
Nope, they're all discontinued now.
Darn.
Oh boy, what are we going to do? Have to rent another car from Enterprise.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Grand Caravan, out of production, is going to continue to roam the earth.
As?
The 2019 Grand Caravan.
Oh. Oh, I thought you meant it was...
No, I've also seen some of the Pacificas that are lower spec labeled Voyager.
Oh.
Or like same diff, but it's been funny to see something lost in translation with what the RFID tag says versus the tailgate versus the rest of the documentation on the car.
I would like to special...
It's not going to be the Dodge Aspen Plymouth Volare that same car, but like 70s Mopar build quality to mess up that badging.
Yeah. But you know what's funny? Like, all old cars are kind of not built fantastically anyway, so...
Yeah, and most of those are rusted away by now. The fancy of which being the 78 Town & Country, which was a mid-sized station wagon instead of the minivan.
Yes.
Speaking of Mopar minivans, did you see what I saw yesterday of what could have been? If it's not a Dodge, it's not a Plymouth, it's not a Chrysler, but this is the early 90s.
Eagle?
The Eagle minivan.
No shit.
Looked just like a Caravan, except that front end rivaled the Edsel.
Oh.
It was just these like two bars. It was like about 40%, 20%, 40%. With these two bars dividing it, and the Eagle emblem in the middle of it. Like, they really dropped the ball for something to be really obscure. Like, no. Just stick with your Mitsubishi Summit 7-passenger tiny van thing.
Eek.
Yeah.
Which is weird because the Eagle, to me, my opinion,
usually made
always
a better looking car.
Better. Yes, the Talon was always better. Especially the last gen Talon, the 9798 with the wraparound spoiler and that front fascia that had that thing looked great, man. It really looked great. I always kind of wanted one, but then that engine had crank walk issues, but they were fucking fast.
I mean, that was still the Eclipse with the crazy-ass turbo motor, right?
The 2-liter 4G63, but they redid the crankshaft, and it had the second-gen cars had crank walk issues, and so crank walk is the crank literally like moving away from where it's supposed to go. So somebody made
somebody's getting cranky.
Somebody made a motivational poster that had the crank and it had pistons underneath it, like with the rods, like a fucking monster. It said, see crank, walk, crank, walk. It was on the old DSM boards because Starion got confused with DSM, but the Starion was pre-DSM because DSM was Diamond Star Motors.
But it's still a Mitsubishi Chrysler product, so it gets lumped together.
It got lumped together, but it wasn't a DSM because the Conquest was built entirely by Mitsubishi, whereas
versus the Illinois-built ones. Okay,
yeah, because all the Starions were built in Japan, every one of them, and boated over. So I've actually had three. I've had 3 vehicles built. Four. I've had 4 vehicles built in Japan solely, like in Japan. The 2 Starions, the S2000, and the TSX was too.
That first digit J in your VIN, man.
The TSX was built because it was a Honda Accord Euro R.
Yep.
And the front grille on those were fucking sweet. I wouldn't mind actually picking up another T, but they're all B2. Fuck. You do not see a first-gen TSX in good shape, no.
I haven't seen any of those at work, but in concurrent entry-level Leto branded cars, there's a trio of first-gen IS300s at work.
Those
and they are all icky looking.
Yeah,
these have, like, I don't know whose these are, but either they haven't been taken care of or they're the 4th owners. Like, they are abused.
That's going to be the next car, I think, that shoots way up in value.
Like, I wanted something fierce, but given aforementioned Zach Kleiman's experience with it, like, good, not fast, really not efficient.
No.
Like a straight 6 and, like, yeah, it averaged 22. Like, thought I was getting another Tacoma.
Really?
Get another Gutless Supreme.
Our late great buddy Levi, his girlfriend had an IS300, and I think it was an 02 that she had. Well, they changed the keys that year, and you couldn't just get a key made. It had to be a Lexus key.
They chipped and
$500 for a new set of keys.
Oh, okay, so not just one.
Yeah, you get 2 for
$500
fucking
that,
dollars.
That's steep. Like, I just got a new one made for the Rolla that Batteries Plus could do for 60% what Eastway Lock and Key did for Red Car a year ago.
You also didn't get a new fob.
Ago.
That's just the 2 keys.
Yikes. Yeah. Like, the guy told me, like, yeah, we could either make you the dummy key that has no accoutrements and can't start the car, or, like, just a remote thing. Like, I was hoping for something less bulky, but I still want a spare key, so got that made. They had the replacement remote in 4 days, and it took me another week to finally coordinate getting with them to get taken care of. But hey, it starts, it runs, it's got the new key, and hopefully I'm not going to be left with, another stray sound roll-up key in the glove or drawer that's going to nothing now.
We played at Rendezvous in Indian Land, so literally right like a mile and a half past Southern Spirits on 521, and I parked, unload, play the gig, blah blah blah, loading back up, and a brand new 4-door Bronco Sasquatch is parked right beside me. This thing is fucking huge. And the owner came out, we were talking.
I told you my take on that one, right?
No, I don't think
Drives
so.
a lot like an F-150.
Yeah.
It, like, the dash looks the same. It makes the same noises.
Yep. But you can take the top off for $75,000 fucking dollars.
You can take the top off of anything. It's a matter of easily replacing the top.
Yeah.
See also door removal.
Yeah. So we got to talking, and the guy was super nice and everything, and he said he looked at he saw the Bronco and he wanted it. I was like, it's a good looking truck. I was like, it's fucking huge. it's so much big. All right, so the Wrangler, I thought the 4-door Wrangler was huge when I came from a Cherokee. It just turns out Cherokee's tiny.
Yep.
The Wrangler 4-doors were not that big in stock. If not lifted, they're pretty normal size vehicles.
And if you don't have the tires and additional fenders bulging out, it's not all that wide now, is it?
No, it doesn't drive that big at all, no. Especially when you park like beside a brand new Tahoe and you're like, oh, this shit looks like a Tonka toy compared to the Tahoe. And the Bronco looks fucking huge. I mean, it's huge. Like, I couldn't imagine dailying something like that. Like, it's too much, man. Guy was nice, though. I mean, and they are good-looking trucks, but can we make it like an 85% scale?
Well, they did make the 70% scale one, but
a 3-cylinder.
It's a glorified Escape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was a really weird side effect of all this. Like, you already have the cute ute.
Yeah, I don't understand. You just badge engineered your own car. Like, I don't really get that.
Are you saying Ford made its own tribute, but this time it's not a Mazda?
Well, you could have called it a Lincoln something, right? But you can't market an off-road car as a Lincoln because the Navigator wasn't even...
It was a gussied up Expedition that you could get an Expedition with leather and power stuff and... Like, you know, the fact Mercury existed in the 2012 is baffling, and Lincoln's hanging on by a thread as it is. Like, it's just pointless.
Even though Matthew McConaughey's doing his best. By the way, the Southern Spirits Bourbon Blind Taste Test, Long Branch won and beat out Buffalo Trace in second place. And I've never had Long Branch before.
I was going to ask, what is this?
It's Wild Turkey Long Branch. It's Matthew McConaughey's bourbon. His.
Well, Kellen's going to like that.
No, she McConaughey.
She's definitely my kind of head.
Is it that Texas, that Texas accent he got going, or just the way he looks?
He's not bad to look at, except in Dallas Buyers Club. Goodness.
Yeah, he did the Christian Bale School of Weight Loss.
Yeah.
Christian Bale tried to get under 100 pounds for that role, but they actually told him, like, you really can't do that. That's not healthy. Every day he said...
That's how I lost a lot of British currency.
How he did it, he had his entire meal every day was an apple in the morning, a bunch of water for lunch, and then water and bourbon for dinner, and that's it. And he lost all that weight.
That almost sounds like yesterday.
Yeah. What's next on the beer list, Steve? We got a lot of shit in there. And by we, I mean I have 80%
well,
of it.
I recognize that New Belgium. That if you haven't had that one, you should.
That's the one that Dale from Pour gave me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I don't have any glassware for it. I guess we could just reuse our beer or bourbon glasses and just share it.
Oh, I was thinking the Agent 77.
Oh, I meant the one. No, I was thinking. Okay, I misunderstood. So the dogfish head at the bottom right. Let's do that one.
Okay.
Yeah, you just want to put it in the bourbon glass?
Sure.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me any. It could be cleaned up. I'm not going to sully the bourbon glass.
I don't see what near misses with aircraft have to do with any of this.
It's not George Carlin. It's not a near miss. It's a near hit. A collision is a near miss. Hey, look, they nearly missed. Yep, not quite.
Camp Amp. Oh dear.
Yep, he said I think you'll like this. Now, last time he gave us a beer, it turned out to be super skunked because Tyler and Adam were on. I have hopes for this one because he said he just bought it. It hasn't been sitting for any amount of time.
All right. That said, this is the Dogfish Head Camp Amp. Milk stout brewed with graham crackers, cinnamon, marshmallows with cocoa powder and vanilla added. Weighing in at 13 proof.
Interesting.
Of Centered series featuring Ryan Besh.
Bless you.
With a batshit looking... I almost said album cover. Bottle art. Like I said, it's been a long month.
Bottle album cover.
The Get Fiddle with the screaming marshmallows really messed me up.
I've like wandered into a Fat Boy Slim video.
I don't see Christopher Walken dancing anywhere, man.
Have you got any ideas for the White Noise album cover for mine that I've been...
Yes. I thought I told you what that was going to be.
You might have, but it's been long. Like I got the drum tracks done for new songs, so it'll be 4.
Do you want me to tell you now or tell you later?
Sure. After I get 4 songs, and then the cover of I Don't Know Anything from Mad Season, and then Brian Baker and I are together going to write an intro and an outro to the album, a real heavy melodic intro and outro to kind of bookend. So it'll be a 7 song, but only 5 of them will have vocals. What was your idea?
You know, I still have that tube TV, right?
Yes.
And if you turn it on and nothing's over the air, you get static. So to make a picture of static and make some sort of overlay for the artwork or like title on that.
Yeah. That would be cool as fuck, man.
Still have the technology. Thanks. 2005 era Panasonic.
Can we troll people and have like the TV static also double as a magic eye and have it say something stupid? I don't know what.
It's not a sailboat, it's a schooner. Schooner is a sailboat, stupid.
I always said it was schooner. Is it schooner? Or does it really matter?
Don't know, don't care, don't sail, and never got the hang of magic eyes.
I did, but I didn't do it like because you're supposed to put your nose to it and then back it up. But I just
you put your nose on my TV, you gotta clean it up, dude.
I just cross my
Ew.
eyes. They're here. That's some goddamn that's some fucking scary movie shit right there, man. Can we get a whole beer into two? I don't think I've ever put beer in these glasses. Look at that.
I think they're good for 6 ounces. So
that's cool.
Does in fact work.
That's cool. All right. Are we going to get any different notes from it? Drinking it out of these glasses? Or I don't know either.
I'm going to have a splash of whiskey in it. Oh, darn.
Camp
I think this sounds like this would boiler make very well.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Oh, hey, old school gray.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's mad good. I like that. Thanks. You said it was 7.5% or
6.5.
6.5%. That's fucking good. On to music news, Esteban. Or no, beer news. Not much beer news today.
I do have one.
Ooh, you got one. What you got?
Panzu is finally breaking ground on some buildings.
Yes, they are. Panzu is the brewery here in...
Yeah, it'd be walkable from where we're sitting right now.
Yes. Are they owned by anybody that owns anything else? Or I want to say they're...
I don't know. Like it's a Caribbean-themed brewery that doesn't result in red stripe. So I don't know what to expect, but I'm pleased to see things are moving along.
There needs to be some Caribbean food trucks because I need some damn conch.
Do you know what my go-to Caribbean joint meal is?
Curried goat.
Yes, sir.
That's good. Have you been to Roy's Kitchen in Nodi yet?
No.
That place is the bomb diggity, dude. I wasn't hungry, but now I am.
Yeah, I haven't been to Noda in a long time. I know I'll be there next weekend, but...
Hey, do you like to eat and drink and not be able to park anywhere?
Go on.
There you go. Beer may see an uptick in pricing due to the Russian-Ukrainian war because of barley shortages, because a lot of the world's barley comes from Ukraine.
The magic of the Europe's bread basket.
Well, neither of us can speak today, so...
I'm not drunk. I'm just tired, man.
I'm not tired. I'm just lazy.
Why not both?
I'm tazy. Yeah, the other...
well, you've heard of the clipboard effect, right? If you're walking around someplace like, with a collared shirt and a clipboard, you look important enough. Keep moving. that, or if like I'm carrying a box of something, or carrying the laptop, which my work laptop wears my other car is a Hot Wheels sticker on it.
Nice.
that gets everybody all the time.
There was a Reddit thread about a group of guys in college who tested that theory about. So they would walk around in plain white T-shirts carrying a ladder into like the movies, and they were like, "Oh, excuse me," and they're like, "Oh, come on through," and they would just like put the ladder, like carry the ladder into the movie theater, and then watch the fucking movie, and then walk out with the ladder.
That's quite a prop.
But I mean, you see somebody carrying a ladder, you automatically assume that they're there to fix something.
Sure.
It's like they've tried it at a bunch of different places, and they always get nobody ever questions.
Sounds like an Impractical Joker saying without the awful things being fed to you.
True, and nothing's as good as the Trigger Happy TV giant cell phone. That was Canadian, wasn't it?
I remember that, but I don't remember its origin. I think it was back when like MTV was doing comedy as well as music. Now they do neither.
Yeah, comedic music.
Now they go to MTV Ocho, home of the Ocho. Do have a bit of music news whenever we get to that.
All right, cool. So where do we go? Oh, here we go. Stone Brewing, that Stone Brewing, is suing Molson-Coors for $216 billion.
Pardon?
Over their rebrand of the Keystone logo. Because the Stone and Keystone logo is huge. Much bigger than the rest of the key. and they're saying that was get confused with subpar beer.
That's a much better leg to stand on than the innovation versus innovation.
Yes. It's going to trial. I've seen the Keystone logo because I check beer in now. Yeah. It's a prevalent...
I'm surprised that's still a thing because that was a step above Beast.
At least Beast was higher gravity.
Not back in 2000 when I had it.
Oh, well,
that was pre-strong beer. That was the magic of visiting a friend in Pennsylvania, and that's what the local frat boys had. So that's what we drank, and man, I would have envied a Colombian necktie by that point.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So yeah, the Never Bitter beer face was always a funny commercial, but
meanwhile, nobody remembers Keith Stone, like sleazy-looking fighter trucker.
Yeah. Jury awards Henderson, Nevada resident $8 million when he was served what in his beer glass instead of beer at Barley's Casino and Brewery? What was
champagne?
No.
Spent beer.
It is so much worse than you think it would be.
Smirnoff grape.
It's honestly worse than that, actually.
Acetone.
You're getting close.
Gasoline.
Cleaning solution. Like 409. Like kitchen cleaner.
Sometimes she's not so fine. My 409. My 409. Did I ever show you the Beachy Boys?
Yes.
I want so badly for that to be a real thing.
We could make that happen. Will we a Beachy Boys cover band, though? Covering something that doesn't really...
For covering a thing from whatever that was, I'm going to look that back up because it's been a long time since I discovered that one. That still cracks me up a bunch.
You know what still cracks me up that is not on YouTube, but I have to go to the actual internet to go to, is...
what, like Reddit or something?
Cooking with Candy. It's
that,
not on
did you
YouTube.
actually find it?
Yeah.
Nice.
And I've showed it to people, and they're like,
what's happening? You gotta start with them gobstoppers, boy.
DJ lost his shit at the Cadbury egg. You hit me with Cadbury egg. Cadbury. You hit me with Cadbury egg.
There was so much amazing stuff that popped up from that.
Butterfinger burgers. Don't you put that Butterfinger burger down? That's the biggest acid trip ever.
I think they're still at it. The Dad's Garage crew.
We need to go see that.
I did back years ago. Yeah, that was rad. It was a bright spot in the dark time.
Boy, you didn't dodge a bullet. You dodged the giant bullet Bill from Super Mario.
Funny thing, like that only happened once in that game.
Sure. Wasn't it in the special area too?
I'll get back to you on that. But the special area getting you a bag of dicks. That level where there's nothing to go on, like I could barely game Genie through that fucking level.
I could show you how to beat it without using those blow up things. Anywho,
all right.
New York man who was paralyzed with ALS had the chip implanted in his brain and then was able to speak for the first time in months. And his first words were, "I want a beer." Kudos, you fucking magnificent bastard. Lou Gehrig can kiss my ass.
That is the strangest necrophilia request I have ever heard.
In Soviet Russia, corpse fucks you. That cannot be the title of this episode.
No.
Oh, Lord. That would... You know what? I don't know. I'm getting more impulsive as I get older. I'm buying more shit and doing more stuff because I'm going to be dead one day. I'm not going to be able to do it. So that's why. Anywho, we're on to music news, Steve. So do you want to kick off music news?
Whoops.
No. Guess the foot's on the other hand now, isn't it?
So familiar. So the other day you chimed in on your sudden love of a KMFDM song.
It's a great song.
So on that industrial theme, the next morning I discover Stabbing Westward had their first album in 21 years. Guess what it sounds like?
9 Inch Nails.
90 Stabbing Westward. It's like, this is indistinguishable from anything they did earlier. Like, it's good, but I couldn't pick it out of a lineup.
Well, Greg and I had this discussion over the phone the other day after many a fucking drink. And you either... when you make an
album... Are you
album,
saying you won't become the thing you hate?
Well, I'm glad you're having this. We're going to have this discussion because you either... If you end up just doing the same thing over again and over again, you're AC/DC. Or you become Neil Young and you just put out a bunch of weird shit. So somewhere in between there's a happy medium. Or just make the stuff you like, and then if other people like it, that's cool. But you're going to be hated for whatever you like. So I like Breaking Benjamin, but the last 4 Breaking Benjamin albums have been Phobia Part 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like, with
speaking of 9 Inch Nails, what are you, ghosts? Now there's like 5 and 6.
So
excuse me, V and VI.
Well,
hello, greetings from episode CVI.
Phobia had Diarrhea Jane and Breath, the really big. Then you had Dear Agony, and then Dark Before Dawn, and then Ember. I like them all, but it's kind of like Part 1, 2, 3, and 4.
And often it's the Kyle Kinane joke of I like this old stuff better.
Whereas
I keep seeing that so much. The Indo-Canadian artist that Kalen and I love so much, King Khan.
Yeah.
His latest was called The Ultimate King Khan. Fuck no, it is.
Good.
It's actively bad.
Really?
Like, otherwise, everything's like very 60s funk tinge, whatever punk this is.
Yeah.
And like, that was just doom and gloom. It was just, this is not his character. Like, I did not like it.
Well, even my original stuff that I write, like, it has a particular sound to it. I don't think all the songs sound the same, but it has a motif about it. I haven't written a song that's like a thrash song. I'm not going to write a thrash song. It's not how I write, man. I like heavy, sludgy, and melodic shit. I love Alice in Chains, and I love Chevelle, and I love Soundgarden. That's what I'm going to do because I'm influenced by that. So, but the songs do sound different. But the thing is,
which is funny that grunge popped up towards the end of thrash.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy both genres. I can only imagine what it'd be like to be writing the concert bill that you have Alice in Chains opening for Metallica. What the 1992 is this?
Soundgarden opened for Guns N' Roses back in the early 90s. I bet that show was great. I remember Chris getting interviewed about that. He's like, man, Axl was great backstage, but he's like, man, he was just like all over the place. Like, I hope the crowd's good. Like, no, fuck the crowd. I don't give a fuck about the crowd. Where's my goddamn beer? He's like, man, that guy's out of his fucking mind. Like, yeah.
One of the running gags that I've found whenever I go during a later Guns N' Roses show was Axl screaming, "Give me some reggae!" during Knocking on Heaven's Door.
Yeah.
Like, your band's not qualified to play this, but pay no attention to the Police or the Clash.
Yeah.
Anyway, as much as I love KMFDM, they do have a lot of the dub remixes.
Mm-hmm.
That's not my cup of coffee.
I will say pretty much every 9 Inch Nails album sounds different.
Mm-hmm.
Every Soundgarden album actually sounds different. Alice in Chains, every album doesn't really. Well, Jarflies and Sap sounded different, but Facelift and Dirt had a motif to them, but then the Duvall era has a sound too, so they did evolve. Pearl Jam definitely evolved.
Do you have the feeling the Duvall area sounds more produced?
Yes, but I don't think it's because Duvall's there and Lane is gone. I think it's because of the years we live in.
Just that's the nature of the industry.
That's just the nature of it, So there,
things I couldn't have thought about first hearing this 10 years ago. But I was just like, I'm not sure how to put my finger on it, but it definitely sounds like what they keep talking about. So, right, guys?
So Black Gives Way to Blue, the opening track, All Secrets Known. I don't know if you've heard that one. You have? That sounds so huge. The guitar, everything sounds good. Jerry does the lead vocal on that, but then Private Hell is one of my favorite songs of all time. It has like polish to it.
Ever feel like that's a theme song?
I love that song. I love it. I excuse myself. I'm used to my little cell. I amuse myself in my very own private hell. I love that line. I wish I could write lyrics like that. But it does have a more polished... It's not as raw. Facelift is super raw. And I love that album. Dirt is a little dirtier. Pardon the fucking pun. I didn't mean that.
Oh, hi, me.
Yeah. Dirt has that edge to it. So Dirt has that fucking edge
there's a reason like everyone keeps going back to that album 3 years later. Like, dude.
But Three-Legged Dog is a sludge metal album all the way through. It's just a doom sludge metal. Just that sound to it.
Is that one with Sludge Factory?
Sludge Factory's on... Sludge Factory's on SAP, I think.
This is what happens when I listen to everything on shuffle. Like,
Three-Legged Dog had Grind and Again on it. Remember Grind?
Yeah. When it was new, I didn't like it. That one took a long time to get the hang of. Like,
you didn't like
but it, like,
you didn't
one
like
of our, I didn't even know what that was. Like, I like it now, but like, at the time, like, or like. How to toast your vocals, apparently.
Nope, that's a vocal fry is a great way to warm up. That's the last thing I do before I sing. So lip rolls, I do that for like an hour, and after that I just do I go lip roll into a fry. It's a great what it does.
Congratulations, you just made a Mr. Bungle album.
Awesome.
The only listenable one is California. Everything else, like if you don't like Faith No More, you're gonna hate Mr. Bungle. Yeah. Except for California, that was the best Faith No More. Post Faith No More, before Faith No More was Faith No More again.
I will have a challenge for you: sing your favorite song and then do warm ups and with vocal fry, and it teaches your vocal cords to relax, just to make that noise. You can't push that noise out.
They can hear.
Yes. You can't push a vocal fry. You have to relax, and that teaches your vocal cords to relax and make that noise, which in turn makes you project instead of push out your voice.
So I always thought it'd be really funny in the era of Zoom calls to do something completely ridiculous on it. Hey, what up, Steven? Here, what's going on?
And they're like, oh, sorry. And they just adjust something like, hey, guys, what? I'll just be off camera and be like, hey, guys, what's up? I'm like, that's not even the same.
Hey there, everybody.
It's not easy to be a green pilgrim. Bruce Dickinson has recalled that the vocals on Number of the Beast were recorded in a dilapidated old kitchen that was converted into a studio vocal booth.
I think it worked.
I think it did, man. I think it did. I think Mr. Dickinson did it okay.
I think he's doing okay for himself.
What year did he leave?
It was, I think, mid-90s he was out for a while.
Then he came back in, what, early 2000s or late 90s?
Yes.
I mean, it's the same.
Like, the magic of me getting in the metal, I left June 6th of what year? Wink.
But
so then it was a lot of this is like reading up on the ins and outs of everything and discovering that, all right, so Black Sabbath had 4 singers and Judas Priest had a few and Iron Maiden's had a few and the Legendary guys are back with their bands and just, it's a lot. It's a lot to keep up with, and I've got a guy at work that's really happy to tell me that Armored Saints playing with Wasp in November. Cool. A little wary about going to old school metal show, and especially nowadays, it's only going to be a stretch, I'm going to a former punk rocker turned demented motivational speaker.
Yes.
On the first,
yeah,
yes.
That was what you were going to...
Henry fucking Rollins.
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you, Adam, for having acquired tickets in December, and I'll be his +1. Kaylin is interested, but not interested. Like, she's seen him twice with us.
It's funny you should say that, because Brian Layton might be my +1 for this tour in the summer.
Ooh.
Rob Zombie and Mudvayne are co-headlining.
Dude, Eric Silga is going to still complain that show's not heavy enough. That remains the funniest thing ever.
Yes.
Like, you never met Jamie, did you? She was a Novant coworker of Colin's and became really good friends.
Is she really tall?
Yeah.
I know who Jamie is.
Yep. And now is married to an Argentinian fellow.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah. It was courtesy of her having come to Charlotte, went to grad school at Pfeiffer, and met a bunch of, the Pfeiffer Charlotte campus. So made friends with these German students from there back summer of 2009. Mm-hmm. And, well, they have a pool, and they were quite gracious to let us crash at their pool and, party up a bunch with them. So wound up going to the Mudvayne and Nonpoint concert with one of them, and that was the guy that complained it wasn't heavy enough. So that remains one of the funniest things ever.
So Nonpoint, I know one Nonpoint song, Bullet with a name on it.
I was going to say it wasn't even their song.
Really?
It was the Phil Collins cover, The Air Tonight.
Yeah.
That they did for the Miami Vice movie.
Oh no, I knew Bullet with a name on it. It's actually a pretty fucking rad fucking song. That's the only one I've heard by them.
Things I've not researched later. Where are they now? Fucking Journey and making more money than we are.
Yeah, really. I've listened to a lot of live Mudvayne from recently. They just got back together not long ago. Chad Gray does not sound great, but how many more chances am I going to get to see Mudvayne? And I still will defend to my death that LD50 is one of the top 3 metal albums to come out since 2000. Bar none. Bar fucking none. It's just one of the best. It's one of the best. It's not the best. It's so different. It's so good. It's so funky. It's so weird. His vocals at the time were great. Not good for longevity, mind you, because not proper technique or anything, but fucking great. Brian Martini, the bassist, lives in Kernersville, North Carolina. That's where he lives.
Are he and Greg getting breakfast tomorrow or something?
I fucking hope so.
What's going on here, man?
I'll be having breakfast tomorrow with Greg and Brian Martini.
I had to tell Kaylin about where Kernersville is last night. I don't remember how and why, but yeah, that's the bump in the road between Greensboro and Winston.
Yep. If you're going to Winston or you're going to Greensboro and you find yourself lost halfway between, welcome to Kernersville.
Yep.
What do you want next,
There's
Esteban?
something about a famous old mansion between the two. That could have been a possible wedding view, but hey, we're doing this on no money, so
hopefully
hey,
it's
you
not
were there.
Joe Mansion. Woof.
It's called the White House.
I was going to say the senator from West Virginia who is liberal, but really fucking is he? What do you want next, Esteban?
Clean coal.
Yeah,
what's clean coal?
Yeah, clean coal. I'm going to fuck for virginity tonight, too. Clean coal. Anything in there is fair game except anything on the back of the bottom.
That mid shelf?
Yeah.
Right.
That's the special, really special. Every occasion with you is a special occasion, Steve, but...
Don't touch this one and don't touch that one.
Yeah, or the 2 Bourbon Counties. One's from 2017, so... Yep.
All right.
I said, every occasion's special with you, just, you know...
We did one of these, didn't we?
I did, you didn't.
Okay. Fire your graphic designer.
Yeah, that's not great. This makes for great TV.
Yeah, totally. Steve fishes in the beer closet.
By the way, I left that fucking fridge open for 2 hours one time. And it still works, though, so...
Or that one?
Either one's fine. I think I'd rather have the one in your right hand because I don't love. That's the you didn't you buy that? You brought that one.
I have no recollection of this.
Oh, that's just like your opinion, man.
Now I get a better look at the can. I've probably had this at the brewery when they opened 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But
This one's totally more up my.
I don't think I've ever bought Southern Strain cans at all.
Do you remember the bar cans that was on 5th and Toby and I used
at least
to go there
in concept.
all the time.
I don't think I ever went there, but I remember the name.
Toby and I used to go there all the time because we were both single and I was fucking 21. I was 21, I think, full of piss and vinegar, and we would go and like there were so many. So we went for the house. I think it was the New Year's party, and this.
You were there for the chicken wings, weren't you?
That was for chick something. But we were there, and like right near, like I guess 10 till midnight. This fucking chick who looks like Mary Louise Parker. You know who that is? Starts dancing on me, and I'm not a dancer, but I started dancing because I had been drinking, and we start dancing and blah blah blah. And she turns around and she just starts tongue fucking my mouth. And so we do that, blah, 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 and midnight and everything. Hey, honey, I'm glad you're not in town listening to this. But she's like, oh, we got to get out of here. I'm like, that sounds good to me. And she goes, I'll be right back. I go to the bathroom. And then she goes to the bathroom. And she comes back with her friend, and I guess like she fucking puked all in the bathroom. She's just like walking back. You could just see. She had that I just puked face going on, like she was being carried. And I was like, yep, I'm gonna Stewie Griffin back up.
Not check, please. Check now. Checking out. Sicilian.
Check now. Slovak now. All that shit now. Oh, shit. We got to do it. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3.
It's not that explosive.
And
Katink. Yours is a 10%er.
Mine is a Stay Positive from Ass Clown. It's Imperial Stout fermented on coconut, cocoa nibs, Key Cat, and vanilla beans. What's yours?
The local vein Hoppy Pills from the Southern Strain Brewing Company.
I didn't love it.
At only 5.7%. Pilsner has never been my thing, but anything advertised as Hoppy Pilsner is kind of a good in-between of being, Pilsner of like light German beer or whatever Miller Lite thinks it is.
Yeah.
And an actual IPA.
I can't.
This is a good bridge gapper. It would be a go-to, and it's heavy enough to not quite be a session.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. You want to try that one?
Sure.
We're all fully vaccinated here. Right, ducks? I have more ducks downstairs now. Wait, like 6 more ducks.
Is that an owl duck?
Yeah, it's an owl duck.
I like the owl duck.
We're an hour and 23 minutes. We're still doing the news. Us get sidetracked? Jared Leto has announced that 30 Seconds to Mars have over 200 songs written for their new album.
That's a lot of mini discs.
You know where I'm going with this, right? So there used to be a saying that if you're not a sports guy, but if your football team, we have 2 quarterbacks, you don't really have a quarterback, do you?
No.
If you have 200 songs,
you can't whittle down really the best of like that's still obscure enough that like you could just drop everything.
Yeah.
I mean, in this landscape, like you don't have to make a physical anything if you don't want to.
No, you don't.
Or put it on Bandcamp, Spotify, Pandora, not Rdio because they're dead.
Yeah.
Let the players duke it out. Like, see if you could make 70 minutes of material out of that, and then make that an actual release.
Yeah.
Does that sound plausible in today's landscape? Do we care?
Who the fuck?
Or
has
it's just
200 of
how? Like, it's not like NoFX's 45 or 46 songs that weren't good enough to put on under CD, so it's a bunch of short songs.
Yeah. Like Audioslave, when Audioslave first got together, they got together and wrote like 16 songs in, I think, 20 days, which is reasonable for two talented groups of people to do that. I don't know when their last album was, but like I said, if you have 200 of them written for a new album, you don't really. Do you really have
written, perhaps recorded?
Even written.
Do you have demos? Like, over what span of time was this? Like the last 20 years?
Look, man, I don't even have 200 riffs written. Okay, and I've been playing guitar for a long fucking time. That seems aggressive.
I don't even have 200 original Nintendo games, man.
I don't think I've changed strings 200 times.
Would that be like the occurrence of entire guitar or
individual strings? I've definitely changed over 200.
Okay.
See that box under there?
Yes. Would that be new strings to have?
That's old strings. So Diodario, I've signed up with Diodario, the strings I play. And when you get to a certain poundage, you can send them in, and they recycle them and give you credits for new strings for free. So,
is this your California, Michigan 10-cent deposit? Yeah. It's your string deposit, isn't it?
Yeah. There's a lot of strings in there. So now I'm playing the green. It's blue crab is the name of the color, but beside a blue guitar, it's more green.
That's just green.
So I've been playing the green one solo.
Hi, what color do we call this?
Teal.
This is very in between. Like this would, oddly enough, go really well between the two.
Yes.
It's like, is it Tiffany blue? It's like it didn't cost Tiffany money.
So I play when Toby plays with me. I usually play the acoustic. I did play the electric one time last week. We played 3 straight shows and wanted to mix it up. So normally I get about 5 shows out of a set of strings. Then they're dead to me, only because the sound's just not as good. So I mean that at minimum 5 shows is 10 hours. At maximum it's 15 because sometimes shows are 2, sometimes they're 3. So I'll usually change the strings because I play coded strings, which the string, like normal strings don't have any coating or any kind of at all, and they corrode faster. Whereas coated strings, they say don't feel as good to the finger, but they last like 4 times as long. That's the ones I fucking play.
Yeah, I figured like otherwise you could play whatever you want. It's like for you to have a second like straight up acoustic guitar for this.
Well, they'd be regular strings would probably be really dead after 2 shows instead of 5 or 6. And to the layman, you wouldn't know the difference. Like, you're a music guy, and I could play a set of brand new strings or after 3 shows, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference, but I would. After 10 shows, you definitely would be able to tell the difference. Not only electric, that's different.
Biggest thing there is the magic of compression and radio. I'm looking at you, Kiss 95.1, that everything is super compressed and played faster than it needs to be. Never mind, it's already a bunch of stuff I don't want to listen to.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it's been interesting to hear the swish and the warble, and the pacing seems off for whatever garbage they're playing to start with.
Yeah, which is funny because when you don't want your music like that. Vocals are absolutely like my when you mix vocals, they're super compressed. So you always said the flyleaf, like she had the breathiness.
Yeah,
the only thing that is they compressed her vocals. They limited them, so it was just a solid line, and they didn't cut out her breathing. That's all that is. She didn't take extra breaths from doing that. All it was is they didn't edit any of her breaths out of the final vocal take, so they squashed everything and picked everything up and just made everything the same volume.
So as indifferent as I am to this band, it's still got the human element. Never mind whatever they did to it made things stranger.
They could have cut it out, and they didn't. So a lot of bands do cut that out. I've cut it out of my vocals unless it's for effect. If like it's a so like say the music stops and and you come in like real hard and heavy, I would want that breath there, so it would kind of break the silence a little bit. But sometimes Depeche Mode even enjoys the silence. Back to the news. Primus is releasing a new EP with a 13-minute track. Because
Primus.
Do you like Primus? I do like Primus. They're fun.
They're hit and miss. Like if I feel like listening to them, sure. If they're popping up on a playlist of stuff that I would not expect this, I do not want that there.
What's your favorite Primus song? You can pick a single too. It's fine. We're not that hipstery. I know what mine is.
Mud or Puppies.
To Defy the Laws of Tradition. Do you remember that one? I like that. That one's on the one that has the head on the plate with the
the
album cover.
I know what you're talking about. Never mind. Pork Soda was a pretty funny album title.
I think it was on Pork Soda.
That was it.
Yeah.
The Sale of the Seas of Cheese. That said, my favorite Primus adjacent property was the one with Sean Lennon, John's younger son.
The Lennon Claypool Delirium.
Yeah, that's brain-meltingly good.
Mm-hmm. Les is a fucking musical savant.
Yeah, it's like I keep calling that Beatles Primus. Like, this stuff is so incredible.
Primus?
Maybe.
The Pridles.
The Pridles. I don't hate that.
I
should, but I don't. Anyway,
it's
sometimes, I need to get Kayla and Chris in here to make me a name now.
We still need to do a spouse episode because we're way past due for that.
Yes.
That would be hilarious because Kayla would probably do very good, and then Emily would not say much, but when she did, it would be a 15-minute story about something. So her waveform would be like da-da-da-da-da, and then nothing for like an hour, and then da-da-da-da-da-da for like 30 minutes.
Like, what the hell is any of this you guys are talking about?
We got to go through.
Kayla had been on here, just listening to it.
That was like 2 years ago, probably 3 years ago.
Yeah, that was early in the thing.
We know it's a long fucking time.
It was right before I moved to Mint Hill-ish.
Yeah. The Chili Peppers.
Now I've been at the house like 4 years, and I've had 50 work orders, so there's that.
Jesus Christ. RHCP will be awarded a Hollywood star on the Walk of Fame. I'm kind of surprised they haven't had one already.
Because of Flea's actions in the Back to the Future films.
Well, I was going to say, because every song is about California, isn't it? Sorry, Mr. King.
Hey, they know what they know, and they did what they did.
Yep.
That said, I really enjoyed One Hot Minute, except for the song P.
I don't like Aeroplane.
That got overplayed into the sea, for sure.
Now we're back to Sully, aren't we?
My mind's not in the gutter. My mind's in the Hudson, thank you.
Now we're back to a car.
There's your episode title.
Mark Tremonti of Alter Bridge and Creed is announcing an album of Frank Sinatra covers. And he also sings in his band Tremonti. By the way, I listened to one of the songs. It's really fucking good.
Okay.
He has a good baritone, deep voice. And it does not suck.
Where sun come and we'd hit it. What? Falco.
That's not what the kind of Putin I want on my Ritz.
In the world of Putins, be Zelensky.
Be the Zelensky you wish to be in the world. We're an hour and a half in, Mr. Esteban. So we thought about doing an industrial, but we did do an industrial episode. But I'm totally okay with doing something industrial related.
Or specifically KMFDM.
We could do a KMFDM
Considered
episode.
like your sudden love of A Drug Against War, I find really entertaining.
I was watching, so there's a 5.5 hour video on YouTube of every video that Beavis and Butthead ever watched.
Oh, wow.
And I've been watching that, and I'm about 2 hours in, and A Drug Against the War was on there. And they loved it.
Yeah, you try to know that, like, I did not ever expect this for anything, and I was very excited to see that and told Kaylin about it, and she's like, cool, what is this? I fear you're going to hate it, dear. It's like, those heavy things I am prone to listen to, this is among the royalty of them. My first exposure to KMFDM was Ultra, somehow being a theme song for anime, hanging out at friend's place. Like, this music video pops up before they're off to go be a Dragon Ball or an Initial Drift or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was pre-Columbine because it was Marilyn Manson and KMFDM were those guys' favorite bands. Well, bad publicity is still publicity, so afterwards I explored both outfits and landed very KMFDM heavy, especially considering this is started by a bunch of Germans. Meanwhile, I was taking German just to try something different than Spanish in high school. Why, yes, Spanish could have been much more useful, but I had a lot of fun learning this not totally useless skill. But it's like, yeah, it's all the sausages and the beers and the fancy cars. Pay no attention to 33 to 45, y'all.
31 maybe? But yes, I agree.
It's like 23. Weimar through... Anyway, who?
You mean the KNCKY does it stand for?
Did you
have yourself?
Have you looked up anything about what that meant?
CK Camp Kill Yourself.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
No, instead of KMFDM is kind Mitglied für die Mehrheit, something like that.
Wikipedia says kein Mehrheit für die Mitglied.
No pity for the majority.
Yes. Although perhaps this could have been an accidental or purposeful mistranslation by the band, as the name actually translates to no majority for the pity.
I like the earlier version better.
Yeah.
Or kill motherfucking Depeche Mode.
Yes.
But I like them too.
Well,
but I've listened to way more KMFDM actually.
Well, they did.
KMFDM never had the commercial success stateside.
They also had a lot of songs. Most of their songs were in English, weren't they? Or was it like a 50-50 mix?
It's very English heavy.
Oh, really?
They started in Chicago, leap year 84. If you want some weird shit to listen to, UAIOE, so all vowels.
Yeah.
Like, not naming a word, like that gets shouted out in a later song.
Right.
Like, they had a song called The Mating Sounds of Helicopters, in case you need to know what you're getting into this band.
That sounds amazing.
It's...
They've had a lot of past members, too.
Things you do... There's very collab heavy. Raymond Watts is mine and Golubievsky's favorite collaborator that's came and went.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was English, and he's listed as a past member.
Yep.
The current members are Sasha Konecka.
That's the founding member. That's the gentleman who had the... I don't know if he still has it, but upon seeing him at Tremont, met up with him afterwards, asked him in German, "Kann ich Ihre Mohawk berühren?" He said, "Ja."
Is your mohawk real?
No. "May I touch your mohawk?"
Oh, nice.
He let me touch his mohawk.
Nice. You have Lucia Cifarelli.
Yep, that's his wife.
And Andy Selway. And Andy Black Sugar are the current members. You have a lot of past members, too, with much more German-sounding names.
They can all
Gunter Schultz.
Scold.
And
with a K.
But then you have Steve White. English. Mark Durante, N. Esch, Jules Hodgson, Rudolph Naomi, Bill Riflin, Tim Skold.
Skold.
Yeah, that.
SKOLD.
SK. It was. Sorry, my vision's blurring. The O was making it.
It's like Skold. I actually found at McKay's.
Mm-hmm. So, other than that song, I have not listened to anything, but I was very entertained by Beavis and Butthead watching the video, and then I listened to the song. I was like, this song fucking rocks.
Yeah, like when they're good, they're good. And when they're weird, they're really weird.
I feel like that about REM, actually. When they're good, they're good. And then when they're weird, they really fucking go weird. Pearl Jam are the same way.
Yeah.
Bugs.
And of the three of those, I've listened more Cam of them the most.
I'd probably listen.
That was definitely during the Napster era, like getting into that, like just listening song to song and then landing on whichever ones I liked.
Yeah.
So this was circa 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Like not knowing what albums where or where the band had been. It's just this heavy barrage of industrial music that sounded like nothing I've heard before, and it stuck. That was like I told you in the text, like that's 90% what I listened to back in 2005. Was just a barrage of really heavy, largely German shit between like that and the Prodigy, Rammstein. Like it was the perfect soundtrack to my early 20s. I don't know why. Like I'm not going to be a school shooter ever.
No.
I'm not dressing up in overly aggressive clothing. It's just I just liked it. Just, versus the everything else out and about. Just like this is something weird and different, and short of NC State's radio station WKNC having the Industrial Revolution program playing, I don't know, Sundays at noon or whenever it was. Like this didn't get airplay in this state.
Greg just messaged me. I told him to join us in the chat, or at least, you know,
Like,
join us in the watching. He gave me Ziggy Stardust this week, and the first half I was unsure about, but the second half fucking rocked, dude. It was really good. It was like a blues fusion sort of thing. It was good. And I gave him Neon Ballroom from Silverchair, which to me, like, Jesus, okay. So I gave him Frog Stomp.
we can't call this work here, by the way.
Yeah, true. Also,
This is all play. I could have met the in-laws for dinner, but are we gonna do the thing to talk to the mics about stuff? I don't know what's happening. Do you want to listen to this? Nope. Okay. See you Sunday.
I feel like I gave him Frog Stomp, and when I explained, I want to explain to him, was like, when they recorded this, they were 14 years old and released it at 15. So take that with a grain of salt.
Who are they, Incubus?
And it's a great fucking album. And then Freak Show, I like, but I like Frog Stomp better. There's now Freak is great, and then the first song is Slave is a complete ripoff of I Don't Know Anything. The riff is exactly the same riff. The rest of the songs, I was like, okay, I like them. I don't love it. But Neon Ballroom is just like a huge step from those first two. Because have you listened to the album recently?
No.
But
I have a vague familiarity
Emotion
with
Sickness, Anna's Song, Anthem of the Year 2000, Spawn Again, like those Miss You Love. Those ringing a bell? A little bell?
Oh, Shut Like That episode.
It's a big jump, and because 15 years old and 20 years old are big. Like that's like, but to me, 20 and 25, that's a big deal. As you get older, it become like 35 and 40 is not that bad. 40 and 45 are the same. But like 15 and 20 are huge. 20 and 25 are huge. 25 and 30 are actually pretty big. 30 and 35 are a little bit less big, and then it gets a little bit hazy after that. But
I should have taken better notes.
It's okay.
We didn't
have a specific. I gotta pee. Well, normally you pee before me, but I'm peeing before you. Keep the people occupied.
And then say stop. this is always awkward having to try to keep the crowd entertained during him and go Spring Wind Tinkles. But yeah, the 5-year gaps. Yeah, probably that 25 to 30 was more major, particularly me getting into online dating. And biggest mistake in that was starting with eHarmony when Colin said, hey, don't do that one. And oh yes, I did that. I joined it July 4th, 2009. And there's just a barrage of nonsense they want to drill you on to see if you're even worthy to be on this platform by Bargain Basement Adam West. Made it, but you got to play by their rules. You get matched up by whomever they think's going to be a good fit for you. Maybe one a day, maybe none a day. And at the time, I am out of the income bracket required to play in that league. That was a really bad start to a really awkward time to have the first few of these, roughly 100 dates in the course of, or 100 first dates in the course of 7 years. And he's back.
I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounded great.
The online dating thing, like thinking of like that 25 to 30 being pivotal.
Yeah. Well, I was
like, it's like, yeah, could I try to find myself? Like, I'm not sure.
Man,
I felt that took much longer. That by the end of it, I had my autobiography down to an art.
Yeah.
But those first couple of years, how in the what in the hell was I doing? Especially like during the time with you.
Yeah.
How many times was I out on a first date? A lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many made it back to the house? Very few.
Mm-hmm. Your like my 18 to 23 was my most challenging time period. And then I think your 30 to 35 was probably the most challenging.
I was saying the 25 to the 30.
You think your 25 to 30 was
so
the worst?
that like
Okay.
really trying to figure out the dating thing. That is it late blooming? Perhaps. Like there's a few here and there. It's like, well, obviously nobody's stuck. And switching cities a few times didn't help. Like going from Charlotte to Raleigh to Charlotte, it's like at least I'm where the people are, and absolutely where the attractive people are.
Yeah, also, yes.
Myself and yourself included. Wink.
We are attractive. You still have all your hair left. I'm getting very close to buzzing it all off. Like I'm just tired of dealing with it.
Oh, you want to try Keeps or Hims or Bosley or
Bosley's
whatever the hell
expensive.
this is?
Man, you know what, dude? Like, I don't know. I wear my hat most of the time anyway, so it would just be like at work and then here where I don't have a hat on. So it'd just be the same. Just it'd be me with no hair. So, and I'm always hot all the time anyway. So I feel like that would really alleviate a lot of the problem.
It totally works. Like, hey, do what you want.
Yeah, man. Like,
I mean, since we last met, I've had a haircut.
Yes. No, you before Monday. No, you have one on Monday.
I mean, since we last met on here, rather.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been, pre-beach. Yeah,
Yes.
try to trim the sides a bit. It's like, yep, this works.
Are you guys in for a cabin trip or not?
Probably not.
What if I kidnap you? What?
Yeah, that's it. Now we're busy trying to find our next cabin that's not made of leeks and Swiss cheese.
Wait, onions and Swiss cheese? Go on. Wrong leak.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you about the pasta pancetta dish that Kayla makes?
No, that sounds great.
Dude, it's, leeks, the not quite onions, and pancetta, fancy ham.
Yes.
Parmesan, noodles, pepper flavor. That's That's a go-to.
Nice. Are we doing wings today?
I will never say no.
I say we do Hawthorns this time because I really want some Long Island style wings.
I got a feeling I've still got those gift cards in the car too, so we have free money.
Ooh.
Yeah,
nice.
$75 for $100 in cards to Hawthorns. So
if you can find them, that would be ideal.
That they should be where I expect them to be.
I will drive there if you can find them.
And if I can't find them, we'll walk there. What?
So I walked the last time I walked to Port 64. There was snow on the ground, and it was a 15-minute walk.
Not a threat today.
Leisurely walk.
Okay,
very leisurely.
Don't wear flip flops in the snow, by the way.
I've heard. I am very seriously considering putting my name in the list of Nissan Z allocations. I'm very seriously considering.
What's it going to cost?
Nothing, but
okay.
I told Emily, I was like, look, this might be the last iconic sports car with a gas-powered engine that ever comes out. And with the prices of the 300, a clean 300, or actually the perfect one would be 240. Like I would love a Resto Mod 240 would be perfect. I don't have the room for that. Like
I only have 260 money. Nobody remembers that short-lived in-betweener.
Yeah, because it wasn't great looking.
Yeah, I was like, oh, here's a 240 in braces is what happened with that.
Yeah, man. Like it.
And the 280s, like, it wasn't great, but they did what they had to do to stretch that model, 14 years?
Yeah.
Somebody at work definitely rolled up with a late 80s 300ZX. I don't know who this was, but hey, it's under a lot. Funny thing, working at car place that sometimes interesting stuff happens.
Yes.
And then I also have the spray paint abortion Civic from the early 2000s that they painted over their taillights and their license plate and like.
What?
Yeah.
Mako doesn't even do that.
No, this has to have been a DIY job. No, I did get a car towed there. Previous coworker that was being a pain in the ass and he got fired, quit. But his janky old car got
acquired.
Like 4 months later, like his janky old car's still there. Like, I'm gonna talk to us in production. Like, he's not here. He's not taking this. Let's get this plucked away, and it worked.
Yeah,
the Carvana cops like me, so
nice.
Yeah, it's like I was like, we're Flexwood okay to get rid of a Malibu.
Yeah, I'd love to have a Resto Mod 240, like with molded wide fenders, modern brakes, the same interior, just redone, nice, like, and then RB26 turbo in. I don't have the room. I don't really have the time to do that. Like, and Emily and I both park in the garage, and I'm not parking outside. We just bought that car for her, and we're not parking that car outside either. So I want to sow the seeds with her I was like, look, if you want to stay in this area, if you want to stay in North Carolina long term, let's build us something and like live there for a long time. I still want to travel. I still want to go see shit, but like have a little more room, have a 3-car garage. We'll probably make decent on this when we sell it. So like if we want to do that.
Yeah, the great irony of this place being worth more now. Mm-hmm. So's your next one.
Yes. So,
which is the great maddening happening with the house hunt that we're expanding into looking at townhouses.
Well, I got really lucky.
I think we're feeling very much we need a garage. If not for cars, at least storage and projects. Like just to have a covered area to do stuff. I'm going to do a bunch of random whatever have you. Callan wants to do furniture restorations.
Sure.
We currently have a pair of tables and chairs from her that we've done nothing but stow shit on top of the entire 4 years in that house.
It's also a 1-car garage, which
it's kind of 1.5. It's,
anything under 2 is fucking stupid. If it's
like
not a townhouse.
Yeah,
if it's a house and has a 1-car garage,
which is
it's
funny.
useless.
Like upon first looking at the house, like late February of 18, it looked like a townhouse. You look at it, it looks like a townhouse. It's built in 81. It's this really strange looking. The proportions are weird. Like, we like it. We hate it. We obviously don't love it. It's just been riddled with trouble, but conceptually, it's a really neat idea.
Very.
But, like, you can't raise a kid on it. You can, like, the closets are obviously early 80s, so they are fuck nothing. So there's an entire room that's basically additional closet. And I've donated a dozen bags to AmVets from there and still have more random clothes, more random stuff to get rid of.
Yeah. Do you know a Barb Kosh?
Yes.
Okay. She says, looking good, guys. Hello.
Oh, hey. She's actually in town. I'm gonna I should be meeting her and family for dinner, but we're doing this bunch of nonsense.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So I'm going to see her Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah, she was at the wedding. That's Kate's friend that lives in Maine.
After seeing her picture, I vaguely hello, Barb. I do remember that. That was a fun wedding.
Yes, it was. Like, for a party of not quite 40, we definitely made things happen, and you helped.
I do my best. Now I have 2 of those PAs.
Hey,
and it sounds so much better than one.
Was going to stay longer, else we had to get Josh's. Unfortunately named. I think it's supposed to be Eco X Gear.
Ecox Gear.
Exactamundo.
I love the Ecox. What? The new subreddit.
Yeah, that's what happens when you love it digitally. This sounds like a Ron White joke.
I love that joke so much. That's such a great joke.
Wie schwul bist du?
We have gotten way off topic here. Whatever the topic was. Jeez. Yep, Emily's out of town till Sunday. I have a gig tomorrow night in Ashboro at Four Saints Brewing Company. I'm looking forward to it only because I need a redemption gig. Because last time I played there, I was sick as a fucking dog and I sounded terrible when I was singing. This time, I'm feeling good. So
I'm carrying nothing in addition to what you know. What?
So the album will be out this year. I'm going to release it this year. I'm going to send it to Jamie King, he has a guy
Eric's cousin?
Well, no. So one of the guys that works for him is one of the members of Between the Buried and Me metal band. Works for him. So I'm going to send it to him. I'm going to mix it here, and I'm going to send it to him to master. And I was told for a fee, all fair, that I'll send it to him, and then he will tell me, like, look, okay, he'll help me with, like, he'll master the tracks for me to make them sound perfect. But he will tell me that, okay, on this song you need to do this and this and this and send it back to me. And then I can send it back. So it'll be like a flat rate for, like, pay me this, and then I'll help you with your mix, and then I'll master the mix that's, perfect for you. So it'd be 7 songs. So it's probably going to be like $1,500, but it'll be perfect. And I want it to be perfect. Because my first album, I like some of the songs. I like 6 out of the 10 songs I put on there. I don't love the production because I fucking did it at the time. So now I've learned a lot, and now I like the production, but I don't like the mastering.
There's a Cam FDM song called DIY.
No way. It doesn't stand for do it yourself, does it?
They keep saying that, and then destroy what destroys you. So take with that what you will.
My production has gotten so much better now because I've done it a lot now and I've learned from it. So I like the production much better. I just want to polish it to make it perfect. And that's the really only way to do it.
Prettier church for a soul, huh?
Yeah.
What?
I'm starting to get a little bit hungry. What about you?
Usually.
Okay. Well, I say we call 106 a day, and then...
Fair enough.
Meatloaf.
No.
Marvin Lee.
Prior to the split, that was not a split. To keep on the KMFDM theme.
Yeah.
Their last album was Adios.
Audios or Adios?
Adios.
Nice. Just like...
A lot of them were 5 characters, so it's, 5-letter band, 5-letter title. There's been some deviation on the theme. The visual style is fantastic. The audio style will kick you in the teeth.
Because I was thinking you said audios, like
Audios.
audio, like audio, but audios.
Yeah,
audios.
Audios.
I like that.
Yeah, it's not. That would be your next album.
That would be fucking cool.
Yeah.
Audios.
Audios instead of Odyssey, and that's a completely different thing. With headphones, I can't afford, but what can you do?
Hey, man.
Yeah, so we're busy making no sense. Thanks for listening, and until next round, cats, kittens.
And
he's still AJ, I'm still Steve.
All that good shit. And it's wing time because it's either wing or Mexican time. And Mexican wings, we still need to make.
Also, yes.
Salsa sauce?
I've got an irresponsibly giant jug of salsa, by the way.
Oh, that's a great,
a great send-off, or just a great idea. The funny things I found at Bargain Hunt and then don't do anything with. Like, I like salsa. Let's buy this gallon jug for
I don't know.
$5.
An irresponsibly large jar of salsa sounds like a great fucking title. I keep hearing a...
Uh-huh.
Oh, that was that. Okay. All right. I was cheersing an empty glass with a full...
That's how you go.
Whatever.
Per your concerns with hair. Well, something German tradition, and Auf Wiedersehen.
Ciao. Think date.
I'd say Das Vidania, but that's outlawed. What?
Das Vidania. Well, it also could be Ukrainian because the language is very, very similar. Or adios. Or if you want to say have a good weekend in Spanish, it would be tiene un buen fin de semana.
Schönes Wochenende, y'all.
Also, yes.
And
it's time for wings. All right. Bye-bye, guys and gals and non-binaries.